It's the early morning of the 18th of December 1944, and a column of German tanks is tasked with capturing the Belgian town of Stavelot. SS Obersturmbannführer Joachim Peiper is in his King Tiger. His plan is to rush the bridge, but the Tigers are too slow. He needs fast cavalry.
Bring mir Panther!
A pair of faster Panther medium tanks pulls up from the line. Their commanders are ready for orders. Peiper has to get through Stavelot and secure the bridges further on if the Battle of the Bulge is going to be successful. He orders the Panthers to charge and take the bridge at full speed. The Panthers roar and lurch forward, accelerating down the main road. They turn a corner at high speed, firing wildly across the river. But the Americans are ready. The Germans speed into the crosshairs of an American 57mm anti-tank gun. It fires and strikes the lead Panther towards the rear, damaging its engine and stopping it, dead in its tracks. The second Panther races past the smoking wreck. It turns towards the American anti-tank gun and charges. The gunners dive out the way as 45 tons of steel charges into them, smashing the gun. The Panther crew quickly reverse back towards the bridge and speed across, all the while drawing the fire of the American defenders gathered on the other side. Heading into the main town, the Panther crew roll into the path of a second American anti-tank gun. The German tank commander quickly shouts to his machine gunner, and he instantly spots the threat and rakes the American position with the Panther's machine gun. Under heavy machine gun fire, the American crew managed to get off a shot. But even at this close distance, it misses. The Germans fire an explosive round at the American gun from point-blank range. The shell streaks over the Americans' heads, deafening them, before slamming into the ground behind them. The Panther tank crew are already charging the position and drive over the anti-tank gun, crushing it. With the American defense crumbling, Peiper orders his King Tigers to roar to life, and one by one, they cross the bridge. They need to capture the American fuel dump. Peiper's mission is to push past Stavelot, but he needs that gasoline. But the Americans have other plans. The commanding officer of the American forces is Major Paul J. Solis, and he desperately tries to coordinate a defense. But seeing the German heavy tanks crossing, he knows he has to retreat.
All units, evacuate the town.
But Solis is no fool, and in retreat, he makes sure to deprive the Germans of their much-needed gasoline and orders the fuel dump to the north of Stavelot to be destroyed. Peiper is furious. He needed that American gasoline. In addition, he was hoping reinforcements would have arrived by now. But the company of Tigers commanded by Obersturmführer Jürgen Wessel has been held up further south. With the dump to the north destroyed, he makes the decision to range to the west in search of more American gasoline. Peiper has his group of King Tigers line up and carry on their advance, leaving Stavelot in search of fuel. His impatience means he leaves the town of Stavelot defended only by German soldiers. The German soldiers are ordered to wait for more Tigers to arrive and to set up rudimentary defenses. They're digging in when the sound of tanks is heard. But their hope turns to despair as they realize the sound is not Tigers from the south, but is instead coming from the north. On the hill overlooking the town, a column of Shermans, M10s and infantry arrives, and from the higher ground they start shelling the German positions in the town. The Germans desperately radio for reinforcements, and the transmission is received by Obersturmführer Jürgen Wessel, who commands the long-awaited company of King Tigers to the south of Stavelot. Wessel tells the soldiers to hold on. He's only hours away.
Unsere Männer brauchen Verstärkung.
Maybach engines roar. They arrive in Stavelot as the battle is still raging. Wessel immediately orders his Tigers to push forward across the bridge, with him in the lead tank. The convoy approaches the bridge, but an M10 on the other side of the river is watching his every move. Fire! A shell strikes Wessel's Tiger on the mantlet. The shot detonates the shell within the Tiger's breech, damaging the gun and causing the gun to recoil into the tank, slamming the loader in the stomach.
Los, vorwärts, wir sind ungeschützt.
The King Tiger accelerates forward. With multiple streets to choose from, Wessel makes a split-second choice.
Nach links.
But he chooses poorly and has ordered his men straight into the sights of another M10 tank destroyer. It fires its powerful 76mm gun directly onto the Tiger's thick frontal plate. It doesn't penetrate, but the massive force of the hit shakes Wessel to the core.
Zurück, jetzt!
In their haste, the Germans back the 70-ton tank straight through the wall of a house, and the roof comes crashing down. The driver attempts to drive the Tiger out, but the engine dies. Without a gun or an engine, Wessel is quick to order the tank to be abandoned. He and his crew escape the stranded Tiger II before more shots can find their mark. They race back towards the bridge and find only 3 German tanks. The rest have already backed up behind cover and across the bridge.
PAK auf den Straßen, schalt sie auf!
Jawohl.
Wessel sends a second King Tiger out to the American anti-tank defenses, while he goes to a third and commandeers it. Meanwhile, to the west, Peiper is being held up by an American defense. A much-needed bridge is destroyed by a small group of engineers from an American garrison. He's devastated. Days of delay and fighting have been added to the operation in front of his very eyes.
Verdammte Pioniere.
But it gets worse. He gets word that Stavelot is under attack and orders Sturmbannführer Gustav Nettel to take his battalion and turn back towards Stavelot. Meanwhile, back in Stavelot, Wessel's hold over the bridge is tenuous and he needs to get the rest of his tanks across. As they roll across the bridge, a terrifying sound is heard. It's American planes. The tank commander's eyes look skyward as a pair of P-47 fighters drop through the clouds. The planes dive towards the bridge as the King Tigers are about to cross,